Thank you so much for joining us here today, Skylar. Go ahead and please introduce yourself, your name, what major or any minors, and if you have any pre-professional track that you're thinking of, and what school you go to.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Skylar Victorio. I go to UC Irvine. I'm a biology major going into my third year this fall, and I am looking to either double or minor in education or something like that. And I'm also on a pre-med track.
Oh, wow, that's great. What made you decide to choose your major?
I wanted to choose my major because initially going into college, I knew I wanted to be pre-med, and I
Mm-hmm.
knew that biology is usually the way that people go. But one thing that I wish I knew is that you really don't have to be a biology major to be considered pre-med.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
know, yeah, I know like poli-sci majors that are pre-med and they're just taking pre-med requisites.
Yeah.
So, but I wouldn't change anything. I love bio and I love learning about it and I love how it challenges me. So,
Oh, that's great. I love that you were able to find something that you actually genuinely love and enjoy. Going back to high school and the college app process, personally, how did you feel about the application process?
oh, yes, I remember doing the applications. I think I started early in the summer, like about now.
Mm-hmm.
I created my accounts and I was so looking forward to it. And then, I pushed like finalizing everything up until like September, October. And then
Mm-hmm.
I think I took my last SAT actually in October. So
Oh,
everything
wow.
was kind of like pushed towards last minute. So not Arcadia style, but
It's
I made
okay.
it. But application process, not gonna lie, for me, it was fun because I really like writing like the personal essays.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for the UC app specifically, those essays were really fun. I still have my essays and I haven't browsed through them for a while, but the process I remember was pretty nerve-wracking. I was just like, I was kind of caught between how should I present myself
Mm-hmm.
to the accept to the admissions
Yeah, yeah,
office. Like, should I be genuine about it? Should I just try to impress them?
yeah,
So I actually ended up going down like the more genuine route and like thinking about like why I wanted to do bio and what my goals were.
yeah.
That is definitely a lot of work, and I would definitely
Mhm.
start early um, if anyone's watching, and like
Yeah.
definitely start as early as you can and get a lot of people to edit for you. I had a lot of friends editing
Mm-hmm.
for me and overlooking things. But yeah, it was definitely pretty stressful when I pushed it towards last minute. And I had my best friend pushed hers till the very last night, and it was a horrible time for her.
Oh
So
no.
it was challenging, but it was personally fun for me. Just
Yeah. Like to be able to explore yourself and like your own identity and
mhm.
like lay it out on paper and like just tell people like what it is and like express that. Like
Uh-huh,
had you
yeah.
um I know you were talking about how you were kind of deciding between whether to be more genuine or like trying to impress admissions. More so, like, how did you decide that being genuine was the better route for you?
I feel like I decided to be more genuine about my career choices just because honestly, when I was first going into college and doing all the applications, I wasn't sure what I wanted to be, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do pre-med.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but what I did know about myself is that for my career choice, I wanted to help people in the future in any way I
Yeah.
could. So my top two career choices were either doctor or teacher, like the most basic, like,
Yeah.
jobs for like helping people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I kind of more focus on that. So I
Mm-hmm.
think my main thing was relaying that I did truly want to help people and
Yeah.
showing the ways that I was able to do that in my experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just taking what I really knew about myself and laying that out on paper and showing how confident I was in that perspective.
Yeah. I'd say that's really good advice to get started and like how to go about the process. And
Mhm.
going back to actually going through with things, did you need to do a lot of extra research throughout the process? And
Mhm.
like, did you end up having to visit colleges before or after applying to schools?
So I visited a few campuses beforehand. I applied to University of Toronto in Canada,
Oh,
so I
wow.
was able to visit that campus when I visited family.
Mhm.
I visited UC Irvine as a junior in my junior year, and that's actually the only UC I got to visit.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
the other colleges I applied to, I watched videos. I watched a lot of videos, and,
Mhm.
like, a day in my life at UCI or a day in my life at Pepperdine or,
Mhm.
any of those, and I was like, "Can I picture myself, day to day living like this?" And,
Mm.
um, even with academics, like, I did research about what they do, in their classes or, just other people's experiences.
Mhm.
I never joined those, college, um I don't know how to say it, like the
Like the
college.
welcome days
Oh,
or
no,
no?
I did go to the welcome days, but, like the online college groups where they're like, "Oh, I had this GPA and this SAT score and I got into here."
Oh,
Like, I never
I
joined
didn't know
those.
there were those things, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, there's these online groups. I don't know, I forgot the name, but if it comes back to me, I'll say
It's
it
okay.
later.
Mhm.
There's these online groups where, like, you say, this was my SAT score, this was my GPA, and I didn't get into here or I got into here. I just stayed away from those, and I was so much happier with, like, the choosing process, you
Did
know?
you know people
But I
who would, look at, like, those things and were part of those?
Yeah. Oh, it's called College Confidential.
Oh my god, I remember people talking about that.
Yeah, and it's just really a toxic thing, and it even exists now for medical schools.
Oh
So,
my.
I yeah, it's definitely, like, not the healthiest, and,
Mhm.
I know people with, um, like not, the average GPAs or not the average SAT scores that got in UCLA, and I didn't get into UCLA, so it really, like, you shouldn't compare yourself to anyone when applying for
Yeah.
colleges, just, like, go for it.
I definitely agree because, like, a lot of times the results that come out definitely aren't what everyone imagines, and it's not like one particular score that gets you into a college. It's like your whole
Mhm.
holistic view of who you are as a person, like the stats and what you write down in your essays and all that. So like definitely try to not stress, and that's like what I would take away from this.
Mhm.
um Wrapping things up about the college app process, if you would have been able to change anything that you've done or the process in general, what would you have done differently?
Um, if I had done anything different about the college app process,
Mhm.
um, I think I would have done more research on other colleges and more places to apply.
Yeah.
I mostly did California schools, and it would have been nice to just have options and, like, oh, maybe I could leave the state or yeah, just that. I think the process itself, I wouldn't have changed anything about because then it wouldn't have gotten me into UCI, and I love it there a lot. Um, but yeah, maybe just having more options and
Mhm.
like exploring more campuses.
Right. That's great. Speaking of how much you love UCI now, how and why did you decide to go?
I chose UCI because I actually went there a lot. I went to that area a lot growing up.
Mhm.
UCI was definitely not my first choice, and I did not expect to be at UCI at all. I visited UCI, like I said, my junior year
Yeah.
because my best friend wanted to go to UCI. So I was like, I'll just tag along with you and you can see if you like the campus. I went there and I don't know, I just felt like I could picture myself there. But then I was
Mhm.
like, no, I want to go to like, UCSG, UCLA, like, one of those, or Berkeley, how everyone wants to go to those UCs. Um,
Mhm.
but I ended up choosing UCI because I went to their welcome day and I saw the campus and I learned about their biology program, and I just
Yeah.
really pictured myself there on that campus. And it's close to Disneyland. I have a Disney pass now. It's close to the beach, campus wise.
Yeah.
And I also just love like the opportunities you can get there.
Mhm.
Everything is like so easily. It's not easily attainable, but it's so easily available to everyone.
Yeah.
And they really do take pride in uh, they really take pride in first gen students as well. So that was really cool. I think my class was the highest amount of first gen students that they've had
Oh,
in a while,
wow.
or like since establishing. So that was really cool.
That's pretty incredible. Do you have any advice for people who are trying to get used to a new place and making new friends with different backgrounds now that you've gone to college and everything now?
Yeah, I was so lucky to meet a lot of people through my hall.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, just living with like such fun, interesting people,
Yeah.
and going out to the kitchen at 3 in the morning, it makes it so easy to make friends. But I do know that there's a lot of people who, they're not close with their dorm, they're not close with their hallmates. I think my best advice would be to join clubs that interest you. That'd be the easiest way to find people that you enjoy being around, and you have the same kind of hobbies and things that
Mm-hmm.
you do. I joined Filipino club,
Mm-hmm.
so, and not everyone in it is Filipino, but
Yeah.
it just forces you to like go out with them and to go to socials.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you definitely have to take the first step and going to clubs, or going out and introducing yourself to hallmates.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just got really lucky with meeting really good people, and it's definitely the people that are a major part of what makes your college experience.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with you. You have to like just put yourself out there first and then like things
Mhm.
will kind of like figure itself out afterwards.
Mhm.
What are your class sizes like at UCI? Do you personally prefer larger or smaller class size environments?
So Um, I think bio is one of like the biggest majors at UCI, number wise.
Hmm.
So my lectures can be up to 400 people
Wow.
in the lecture halls. And the first 2 weeks they're all pretty full, and then you'll see like as throughout the quarter it like winds down. But yeah, there's a lot of people. My discussions are obviously less. I think it's like 40 to 50. But
Hmm.
lectures are definitely my biggest, but I do prefer the larger environments. I don't know why exactly, but I think it's just like less pressure on me individually to
Have to speak or something?
yeah, to have to speak or have to like really. I mean, I obviously have to stay engaged in class, but
Hmm.
just being around everyone kind of makes me more comfortable.
Aw.
But yeah, and then I also had like a lot of I was in a bio hall. So all
Oh,
my
wow.
friends and my first friends were my hallmates. They were all bio majors, so we would all sit together. So I think that's another part
Oh.
of what made it so comfortable for me. Yeah. So I definitely prefer the larger environment, and I don't know, it's just cool to me.
Hmm. That's great that you were able to like find that like something like that that were was able to help you along with the process and your experience. I have a question about the halls. You mentioned you were part of like your specific hall was a bio hall. Like were there other halls that were just specifically for certain different majors? Or
Yeah. Yeah, so there were the four towers. So those were like the newly built dorms. So they already had, like the luxury of the key cards and having really nice new dorms. But classic halls where they had doubles and triple rooms, and
Mhm.
they kind of look like big houses.
Uh,
Those had themes to each hall. So there was a music hall for all music majors.
wow.
There was like a sustainability hall for those interested in sustainability. There's even like uh, this one hall called Sierra, and they have a class for just those residents, and it's about I don't really know what the class is for, but I know everyone in that hall gets really close with each other. But for
Oh.
my specific hall, there were four bio halls, and they were all clustered together in
Mhm.
in my community. And I just met so many people there, and I still see them in my classes, and we became like a little family. So
Aw,
that was really fun. Yeah.
that's so sweet.
Yeah.
So, what was your experience like living in the dorms? And when you first decided to dorm, did dorm with someone you knew, or was it a complete stranger? Did you room in a single or a triple, or like how did things work out for you?
So I met my roommates through Facebook. You know, you do the whole spiel. You do, hi, I'm Skylar. This is what I'm into. If you want to be my roommate, message me. So I had this one girl message me. Her name is
Mhm.
Miwa, and she met with me on welcome day of UCI. Um, and then we got to meet our third roommate in person. Her name is Mika. And then we just knew that we like clicked from that day. So I
Oh.
definitely recommend going on Facebook and talking to people if you're afraid of like who you'd be rooming with, because you can request roommates.
Mhm.
They were the best roommates, and I have so many memories of them. They became my best friends, and we would have
Oh.
like face mask nights. We decorated our dorm. Yeah, we were in a triple in the classic halls. We all took bio-related classes. Not all of us were bio majors,
Mhm.
but all of our first year was pretty the same. So we had similar classes. We all helped each other out. All my homemates, I fell in love with all my homemates. Like they're just the
Oh.
most amazing people I ever met, and they became family too. We would go out like the middle of the night and like 3 in the morning, and it was our thing to like meet in the kitchen and like all be doing our homework, but we wouldn't end up doing our homework.
Mhm.
But the dorms were just like, I always say it was like living in a big house like with my new best friends. So it was
Aw.
definitely a good experience for me. So if you want that same experience, I definitely recommend putting a lot of effort into your housing application and
Mhm.
trying your best to find roommates, especially since like you might have time now.
Yeah, I definitely would recommend also on like know a lot of people who have been able to find like people suitable to them and like compatible through Facebook and all that. All right, going now back to the transition between high school and college. What was something you got to do in college you weren't able to do back in high school or your hometown?
Like something that wasn't available to me in high school that I got
Yeah,
to do in college.
yeah,
Um, Academically or just anything?
anything.
Um, oh yes, schedule my own classes.
Oh, wow.
That is definitely like I think well yeah, that's for everyone, but being able to like choose what classes I wanted and to be able to really be independent and in charge of like what I wanted to do regarding
Hmm.
like my 4-year plan,
Yeah.
that has definitely been that has definitely been the coolest thing. I'm like really I like marching to the beat of my own drum. So
I
being able
love the
to have
sound of that.
control. Yeah. So having control over like who my professors are or what classes I wanted to take. And,
Hmm.
I think UCSD does this too, where they have the 2-week drop before you can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have like a short period before we have to actually drop classes, and then you have the drop. There's first the drop without a W, and then the drop with a W on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so during that 2-week period, I would try so many different classes and see if I liked it, if I liked the professor, and if I didn't, I just drop it. And then in high school, you're kind of just stuck with whoever they assign
Yeah,
you in. So being able to choose my classes, my schedule was just awesome. I loved it.
liberating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, what were some extracurriculars you were a part of at UCI? I
I
mean, you talked about joining the Filipino org? Were there any other orgs, anything else that you did that you want to talk
Yeah.
about?
So in high school, I wasn't as involved as I wanted to be just because of like own personal stuff and
Mm-hmm.
all that. But I got to join a lot of things at UCI. I'm a part of Kababayan, which is the Filipino club. There's 4 different Filipino organizations,
Oh,
but this is
wow.
like the general club for Filipinos. I love it because I've never been surrounded by so many Filipino people in my life.
Oh.
So it's just nice to have that community, and it's kind of like
Mhm.
having a bunch of cousins because they, you all have like the same cultural background and stuff.
Mhm.
And we do this cultural night. It's called Filipinx American Cultural Night, and that was my first time being a part of a performing arts kind of thing, and
Wow.
that was so fun. I got to do a cultural dance, and I got to do that with friends, and most of my close friends are from that club. um, I'm also in ASUCI, so I'm a part of student
Mhm.
government.
Mhm.
That's been fun. It's been it's been a learning experience, and
Mhm.
it's really like challenged me to grow and to grow my confidence because definitely you have to be confident when making a lot of decisions for the student body.
Mhm.
Um, and then I'm also in Students for Integrative Medicine, and that's a research group where we do research for like holistic medicine and natural ways of healing. And that's super fun just because it's a student-led research, so there's no professor, like telling us what to do. It's just all 6 of us like devising how we should, devising what experiment we should do or like what research we should carry out for the year. And this year we did research for aromatherapy for those on the autism spectrum, and that
Wow.
was awesome. So yeah, also being getting involved was like a really good way to make friends.
It sounds like 3 very enriching experience. I'm so glad you were able to find that for yourself in college, especially since like it was able to like fill your time in such fulfilling ways, I'm assuming. Yeah.
Thanks.
Um, I'm just wondering, like, from your experiences in these orgs and extracurriculars, this research and in student government and the cultural org, did these in any way, like, how did they most help you grow as an individual? And did your experiences in, say, research or student government, like, make you rethink, like, career wise what you wanted to do and like maybe help solidify things more, like?
Yeah, so with Kababayan, I wasn't really culturally aware. I wasn't too woke about Filipino culture before. And
Mm-hmm.
now like I'm so in love with my culture, and it's helped me like really build my identity as like a
Mm-hmm.
Filipino woman. And
Wow.
it's also helped me become more aware of like just being accepting of other cultures as well,
Mm-hmm.
just as I would want others to be accepting of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also more interested in other cultures. Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
But uh, and then for student government, it definitely made me think about going more into public health. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it definitely made me question whether I want to be a pre-med or be a doctor. For now, I'm still on that route, and I'm still actually figuring out like what I truly want to do. But
Mm-hmm. It's totally okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
and being in student government, and it showed me like other ways to help people too by like
Mm-hmm.
advocating for others and policy making and um, different ways that you can advocate and be there for others. And
Yeah, for
then
sure.
yeah, and then research, that has definitely contributed to if I wanted to be a doctor, that I would present alternative therapies besides just prescribing medicine
Mm-hmm.
to patients. And it's opened my eyes to just different modes of,
Healing.
alternative healing and holistic medicines that just it's just a really eye-opening experience, and it's taught me a lot about um, other ways I could help people if I do become a doctor, which is awesome.
I love that for you.
Thanks.
Um, Going back to high school and the transition to college, what was your biggest struggle coming into college, and do you believe you've overcome it?
Um, my biggest struggle coming in.
Yes.
Which one? Just kidding. Um, Definitely, my biggest struggle coming into college was I think I was so scared of being away from home. Like, I remember feeling so nervous, and I think I psyched myself out so much that when they actually dropped me off, like, I was perfectly fine when they left me, and I was like, I was definitely just, like, overcoming my fear of, like, not having my parents around all the time, not
Mhm,
being close to my grandparents or my cousins
mhm.
or my friends. But
Yeah.
also another struggle I had was, like, a fear of making new friends and having
Mhm.
to, build a whole new network of people, building, like, my new tribe, you know?
Yeah.
So, I definitely overcame that, and I was so
Mhm.
lucky to have overcome that because I have such, like, beautiful people in my life now.
Yeah.
And then my fear of, like, not being at home, now I kind of fear being at home, and I'm stuck at home, so I'm, like, living my fear now.
Oh my god, it's kind of funny. Like, I also agree, like, I definitely resonate with what you said about, like, at first, like, going to college and, like, just being scared of, like, what if you don't make friends? Or, like, what if you don't find
Mhm,
people who, like, you click with? And then there's just, like, that tension there in the very beginning, but I do believe that once you put yourself out there, like, things will work out your way and all that. And I also know a lot of other people who also, like, struggled with, like, the same thing of, like, what if I don't find my people? And
mhm.
okay, to wrap things up a little bit with one last question, if you could give advice to high school students now or students going into college, what would it be?
Especially with everything going on in this time, I know it's, like, scared to be of it's, like, really easy to be scared of the uncertain and what could happen,
Yeah.
but, if hopefully they get the chance to be able to go on campus, definitely
Mhm,
take advantage of each day and take everything day by day. So,
mhm,
like, don't worry about, like, your midterm next week, like, just focus on what you need to do today, and then you can worry about, what's coming up in the coming weeks. Yeah, take advantage of the experience that college is gonna give you because it's, like, your last 4 years of, being a
mhm.
student and being young, unless you're going to, like, grad in med school. But
Yeah.
yeah, just not only taking advantage of the academic opportunities that you have, but, being
Mhm,
a young student, or even if you're not a young student, just taking advantage of the college life is would
yeah.
definitely be my best advice to them.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for coming here on and sharing your story with us today, Skylar.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.